Hey, Ollie Traveler fam. Thanks for tuning in. This is the first of a four-part series of our tips and tricks and how we travel. This one is about flying. I hope you enjoy it. Hey, everybody out there. How you doing? So I'm here to give you some tips and tricks. We've got some really great feedback on our channel from our Ollie travelers wanting to know how we book these things and what do we do and how do you get started. So this is probably going to be a 3 or 4 part series because we do travel. We do camping, we do cruises, and we do Disney. So there's a lot of different facets into doing some of those things. Today I'm going to be talking about traveling by air, how I book my airlines and keep it as cheap as possible, but yet get the best service that I like to get. So the first thing that I would say is to go on different airline sites, okay? Definitely check your Deltas and your American Airlines and whatever flight that you like to, go to, whatever one you trust. Go to them and see what they're offering for the flight you're looking for. If you're able to, okay, have a few dates that you can travel. If you're cruising, you want to try to get in a day or two before the cruise. So maybe you're going to check a day or two before the cruise, and then maybe you can check a week out before the cruise, depending on what your schedule is. Different days of the week and different times of the week are going to be cheaper. Okay, that's the first tip. The second tip is if you live close to a metropolitan area, drive to that area and fly out of there rather than flying someplace local. So for us, we live in South Carolina, but we don't really have major international airports around us. So rather than paying that extra fee and having to change planes in Atlanta, we just cut out the middleman and drive to Atlanta and we spend the night there. We get up, we're at the airport on time, and we're able to take off. So that's another tip that I use. I check my local metropolitan areas that have international flights if I'm flying international, and then I will see which one is cheaper, depending on which hub you're near. Okay. Another thing I do is I go on airfarewatchdog.com. So that's airfare, the way that it sounds, watchdog.com. I go on there and it brings up several different air flights and 7 different times that you can look at and you're able to compare. So there's like Kayak on there, booking.com, and a bunch of different ones. You guys know what they are, but they're all listed there. And that way you can also compare prices and you can put in different dates like I was suggesting before. If you book with a third party airline, just be a booking agency, not airline. Be very careful to read the small print. During COVID, we booked a flight and it took me over a year to get our money back. And I really had to fight tooth and nail. It was over $2,400 and I wasn't going to give up without a fight. So be very careful. Check their refund policies and check their extra fee policies as well, because sometimes it may look like you're saving money on a flight, but actually they're charging you money at the end. So kind of double check those fees and make sure. All right. We like to get traveler's insurance. Okay. There's different types of traveler's insurance. You can look up for yourself. They have, for cruising, they have international, they have flights, they have to protect you if you're ill, protect your luggage, all kinds of things. So you can decide and streamline what you like to use. We have USAA, so I go on there, and then they have a third-party insurance agency that you can go on and decide which insurance is good for you. I highly suggest that, especially if you're cruising out of the country, you want to make sure that you're covered because health insurance out of the country would be astronomical. Okay. I try to book as early as possible. Most of the time, you can book about a year in advance. Okay. If you have that much time on your hand, you can book about a year in advance. I say book as early as possible. Okay. The other thing is become a airline's travel member. So that way you can get your airline points. That kind of stuff is huge and it really doesn't cost you anything. So you sign up with them and you get their rewards. We're signed up with Delta and Everett drinks Starbucks every day, twice a day sometimes. Starbucks is one of the companies that will give you rewards that goes towards your Delta flight. Easy peasy. So find out which airlines that you're interested in and then sign up with those rewards. Or you know what? Sign up with a few of them. Why not? They all have apps and they all have reward programs, flying programs. Okay. You can use a travel agent. You know, if you don't feel like you're savvy on the computer or you don't have time, travel agents do not charge you. Okay. They're paid by the airlines or whatever it is that they're booking. That's where they get their payment. So don't feel like if you use a travel agent that you're going to be charged more. That's absolutely false. You will not. Sometimes they're able to find cheaper flights for you and sometimes they're not. I feel like I find them cheaper myself. So I don't use my travel agent for my flights, but I do use them for other things. Okay. One thing that I like to do also is I like to sit near the window and Everett likes to sit in the aisle. So what we'll do is we'll book the aisle seat and we'll book the window seat and then leave that middle seat vacant. Most of the time when you look at the flight, when you're booking it and you see where your seats are, most people don't want to sit in the middle. I'm going to say 8 times out of 10, we get lucky and we get the whole row. So that's something you can consider too. So if you're flying with a companion, you and the companion would take one seat on either side and people don't want to sit in between you. You end up with the whole row. And it's really nice, especially if it's a long haul flight. Okay. I hope that's covering some of the questions that you guys have had. And please keep your questions coming. I am not a travel agent yet. Wink, wink, wink. Thinking about it. I really love travel and I love giving advice on travel. So again, this is the way that we do things. It may not be the way that you do it. And if you have a good suggestion, please bring it on. I'm always open to hearing other people's suggestions. Okay. And I think that's about it. That's going to be it for the tips for flying. The next thing we'll talk about is what I use to make my flights comfortable. So stay tuned. Please click on to the next one, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Hear the birds and see the sun.
Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give us that thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.
And please ring that bell so you know when new content drops.